Pro Unitate is back once again. It's the Pro Unitate podcast, a collaboration between USOSA, which is the mother body of all unity schools, and TNN, the New Nigerian, bridging the gap between diaspora and Nigeria. As usual, Chioma, my co-host, is here. Chioma, please say hello to the audience.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Excellent. We have two important guests on the podcast today, both alumnus of Federal Government College, Kano. I will start by introducing Dr. Wasagu. Dr. Wasagu holds a BSc Hons in Science and Administration from the Usman Danfodio University in Sokoto. Went to Federal Government College, Idoani. Dr. Wasagu served with the Nigerian Shapers Council in Abuja from 1999 to 2000 before joining the National Health Insurance Scheme Abuja in the year 2000, a long time ago. We're talking about 25 years ago now. While with the NHIS, Mr. Wasagu has worked in various positions of administration, includes head of utilities, head of welfare, promotion and discipline unit, head of transport, and from January 2004 to December 2004 served as the personal assistant to the EC, I think the CEO of NHIS. He has also served the organization as the deputy head of media and public relations. There you go, Chioma. That's where you get public relations from, I suppose. Mr. Wasagu is an active member of the Unity Schools All Students Association, USOSA. He has been since 2008 and has served on every planning committee of USOSA. He has served as the Vice President General of the association, which he did from 2016 to 2018. And he's also served as the National Secretary of Federal Government College, Kano All Students Association for 3 consecutive administrations, a position he still holds today. I don't know if that's constitutional with USOSA, but that's something to talk about. Chioma, I'll let you introduce Humphrey.
Okay. Oh, before I introduce Humphrey, I didn't hear the part where you didn't put that he's my brother. He's my brother that USOSA gave me. It's not boss, it's not on your CV. It should be captured on your CV that you are the boss that I called as the
It was the CV, he just didn't read it.
He didn't read it. All right. I would just quickly say Mr. Humphrey Nwafor is the founder and executive director of ZEX Global Services Limited, an infrastructure development company based in Lagos. He's the founder of Truck City Project, a smart, eco-friendly logistics hub, beneficiation center, and the largest truck park in the world. Wow. Located on 121 hectares of land at Odeomi, Ibeju, Lekki, Lagos. I hope I got that right. An alumnus of Federal Government College, Kano, and a graduate of Enugu State University of Science and Technology, where he studied mechanical engineering. He's the president, Lagos chapter, FGC, Kano Old Students Association, and the president of his class till date. He's a proficient graphic artist and writer, a faithful servant, a lover of God. He's happily married with children, an amateur but persistent chess player, and a struggling cook. You need to tell us about that.
You have to emphasize on the cook. What's the best food? What are you learning at the moment?
I hope nobody has suffered from this your struggle, sir. He loves to read books and watch good movies, good old movies.
Thank you,
So
Chioma.
David, we've
got 2 different personalities here.
Proudly made from
FGC Kano. Absolutely
Yes.
right. Proudly FGC Kano alumni, proudly USOSANs, proudly delivering in their various sectors, NHIS, logistics. Logistics is a very big business. How do you manage in Nigeria? The roads, the insecurity. Tell us a bit about that, Humphrey.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch you. Say that again.
I was talking about your delivery of logistics. How do you manage logistics in Nigeria? With the insecurity and with the state of the roads, how do you turn over a profit?
That's quite a serious matter. However, we have to keep doing it. Basically, you persist. You learn. How do you put it? You roll with the punches, I think they say. So if you see that this area is getting more volatile, you switch to another route. If you find that the roads here are now becoming impassable, you find another route. You just have to keep twisting and turning. Okay.
David, I was going to say I think when you were reading about Nasir Wasagu, and he said, if you want to know about USOSA, ask Chioma. I said, how do we ask Chioma about USOSA when Nasir Wasagu is in the room? I need him to tell us USOSA, his journey through USOSA and what USOSA means to him and how it has been for him.
USOSA is a long story, very, very long story, lots of ups and downs, and basically because of my background being a public father.
Are we struggling to hear Dr. Wasagu?
Yes, a bit.
Yeah.
Is that better now?
Barely. Now we can't see you either.
Is it better now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very well. So, like I was saying, USOSA is actually a very, very long story for me. Just like Chioma can write some chapters of my book in my surgeon in USOSA. But we tagged along USOSA as young men very early around 2006, following the likes of the then President General Agba memory, GNI, Kabiri. We traveled all over this country for different kinds of plenaries that were being hosted by old student associations. And somewhere along the line, I think the seniors, like we call them from school today, the seniors felt that some of us should come and take on the responsibility of managing resources. So it's thrown into the big things, 2020 routine to serve as the Vice President General of resources. After then, we want to serve again.
Dr. Wasagu, do you think if you just use the speaker of the laptop rather than the headphones, maybe it might be better?
Very well. Can you hear me better now?
Fantastic.
Thank
you.
Okay. So basically, I served as the Secretary General of USOSA for 2 administrations, and I'm proud to say that a lot of old student associations were birthed at the time that I was Secretary General, because we have 110 unity schools, but not all of them have old student associations. So at the time we came on board, I think there were just about less than 30. But when we left, the Chioma was part of the team at some stage. We left close to 60 old student associations. Basically, it's public service for me. I came from a public service home. I'm still a public servant, and that is why I have been serving as the national secretary of my school, FGC Kano. USOSA is also just another chapter on the book of public service, and I believe I did my bit. The rest is history.
Let me switch to Humphrey. Humphrey, an alumni of FGC Kano. Give us a unique experience that you had. Give us value that you derived from being a student in FGC Kano that has impacted you and you still utilize till today.
Okay, that's a very good question. I think one of the most interesting experiences I had in FGC Kano was meeting a guy by the name of Tayo Banjo. He was Benue House captain at the time, and I met him in church in the fellowship in the school. And he used to paint. He was a fine art, fine art major, but he was known for his paintings and card, all those things, graphics generally. He would do in school, and you see some seniors even back then when they look like giants and were like ants. You see some of them, and you somehow you guys bond. So I kind of bonded with Tayo, and I learned graphics from Tayo.
Wow.
I watched him do all those things, the paintings, the card. And so people are always amazed. One of the companies I own is a graphic, what do you call it? A brand, I think they call them brand management companies now. Yeah. But when we started out, it was just basically, we just do designs for people, companies, products and all of that. And people are always amazed that I'm actually a mechanical engineer. I never read arts. I never entered a computer school to learn Corel Draw or Photoshop. I picked up all of those things from everyday work. As in, in those days, you go to a business center and you're telling them, do this, do that. And I kept watching. And one day I just went out and bought a computer. Then it was a desktop. And I started doing my own work myself. Of course, before then in school, after Tayo left school, it fell on me to make the cards. So I was already making money in school. I started making cards, doing banners, anything graphics. I was just good at it. And like I said, it's funny. It's not something I ever did before FGC Kano. I didn't even know I could. I had it in me. So it's one of those gifts that you can say Federal Government College Kano gave me through Senior Tayo Banjo, wherever he is in the United States today. That my whole company, that company that does that, is actually, you can say it was bettered by Tayo. It's one of the things from there. Yes.
Tayo, what's the surname again?
Banjo, Tayo Banjo.
Tayo Banjo, wherever you are. We believe you're in the United States. At some point, this podcast will reach you. Please get in touch with Humphrey. Humphrey got inspiration from you as a young boy watching you do what you did. Okay, let's go back to USOSA. Chioma, I'm sure you want to ask a question.
Well, I'm just amazed. Every day on this podcast, we keep hearing amazing stories, which dates back to school and is a testament of what we're doing here, that we're going to document those stories, and people who it affected will someday come across it and listen to how they affected other people's life. I will go back to Dr. Wasagu now. And so for me, I'd like to talk about mentorship. You have been a pillar of USOSA. You have seen young people come up, like you rightly testified of how many schools we met on ground when we came and how many schools are now. Some of those schools are really young schools. I always tease worry that they are like great-grandfathers of other USAs. What are they doing about mentor? But particularly you, I want to know what's your deal for mentorship for Kano and for USOSA in its entirety? What are you people doing to mentor the younger people?
Well, like I said, I need to go back to my training of being a public servant and an administrator. As an administrator, I'm not an engineer. An engineer like Humphrey will be called in for his expertise to fix and solve a problem. But as an administrator, you need to manage people, and the way you best manage people is to also have people who could do it in your absence, who could get the job done in your absence. So I believe that in itself is mentorship. And I worked as the Secretary General of USOSA, and a certain Nightingale was my Assistant Secretary General when I was the Secretary General. And today, if anybody asks me anything about mentorship in USOSA, I believe I passed on some of my experiences of being a public servant to that Nightingale, who was the Assistant Secretary General, and I believe she came out of her shell and to be someone that we are all proud of. Anyway, my brother from here, you can ask Chioma who that Nightingale is. But going back to FGC Kano as well, yes. If you want to count the years, somebody tells you that he graduated in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. For some of us that finished in the 90s, 80s, and back then, you feel like, that's a very, very young man, just by thinking. However, do the maths. Anybody that finished school in 2000, that means that finished from school in the year 2000, that means that young man has about 25 years post-graduation experience now from secondary school. So it's not a young man. So what I'm trying to say is that this younger generation who we are trying to mentor are already part of us. We just need to get them done, because truly we are a product of somebody's mentorship. Like I mentioned, Albert Ekumaba, Kabiru Nuhu, Hosseini Ahmed, our national president, Suleiman Adamu, who was at one time a federal minister. And by virtue of being a federal minister, he was also still serving as our national president. And he felt that his secretary should also come and work with him as a special assistant as a minister. All of these things, we have different stories of how we learned from our seniors, and that's why we have utmost respect for them. And in LGC Kano, the experience that we had, and we keep talking about that with Humphrey, what has really shielded us from a lot of controversies and crises and all of that is that hierarchical respect. From what you had in school, junior student is a junior student. Like Chioma always fight with a certain junior girl who turns out to be a junior girl really now. So we have that respect for seniors, and I believe that when you have a structure of respect, the senior, whoever he is, if he doesn't turn out to be a tyrant, some things must fall off from his plate to yours. And what I mean by things that will fall off from his plate, I'm not talking about what he is eating. I'm talking about from his wisdom, from his experiences, and the way he does things. So I believe mentorship, it's a part of us, because everybody must leave the state at a certain time. If you are going, you can't take the association with you. But what you would hope to do is to look back and see the association still thriving and be proud of that association. And the only way you can do that very well is to make sure that those coming behind you have the right pedigree to actually sacrifice for this service.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Humphrey, and USOSA, and I don't know how deeply you've participated in being an USOSA. Part of the plans for the next 2 years by the current President General is to try and infuse technology into powering more progress and more unity in USOSA. Do you know about this? What do you see in technology being a potential unifier and a potential drive forward in the history of USOSA?
I would say that generally technology has become an avenue, a means for bringing more people together. Just like they say, the world has shrunk. I mean, you have access to people from one point to the other. We're having this meeting. Wasagu is in Abuja, I'm in Lagos. You guys are not here in Lagos, I'm sure. Well, Chioma may be in Lagos, I don't know where you are. But so technology has become a tool, and it's only right that USOSA, supposedly being a college of enlightened people, should use that technology even faster than other people get adapted to it. We should be at the forefront of using technology to achieve our objectives. So I am all for it. I've heard the president talk about this plan, and we're waiting to see what new things may unfold. But I think it's a wonderful plan. I think it's the right time. It's what we need. Create more access, create more awareness. What we're doing, what we're saying, our message as an organization, the Pro Unitate objective to bring us together, irrespective of tribe and religion, language, and all of that. So yes, technology is the right tool to use at this time, and I believe that we're the best fit to use it. Yes.
Excellent. Speak to sports. Speak to chess. Tell us a bit about chess. How are you using chess to mentor people in young ones in Kano? Have you created a chess club within the Federal Government College Kano? It will be an interesting thing to think about.
Indeed, it would be, and like you said, it's probably a good avenue to mentor some persons, to get close to some persons, because the truth of the matter is that there has been some kind of disconnect, I would say, between the longer you've been away from school, it seems that you're more disconnected from those who are currently in the school, even to the point where some alumni will say, the school is not our problem. Why are we talking about the school? Why are we bothering about the school? But I keep reminding them that that's where we started from. Without that school, you and I would not be talking. You and I would not even know each other. And if we hope to build the same kind of, how would I put it, the same kind of friendship connection that we built amongst each other over the years, then we must go back to that school to help build some of that. However, you can't run away from the realities on ground. When I went to FGC Kano, there were more people from other parts of the country than people from the north in my school, than people from Kano in my school, than people from even surrounding states in Kano in my school. Instead, you will find that at the same time in Enugu, you had a lot of northerners in Enugu, which is my home state. But they had a lot of northerners there, while a lot of easterners and southerners, were in Kano. But today, you're having more of, if you go to Enugu, you hardly find a Hausa student in Federal Government College Kano, Enugu. If you go to Kano, you hardly find an Igbo or Yoruba person. Now they're in the minority. So when you say let's build the same kind of, how would I put it, same kind of ecosystem that we have, it's a little bit, it doesn't look the same. However, that's not an excuse. Students are students. And it depends on what you feed them with, what you provide them with, because the mind is a fertile ground. And if you plant a good seed, that seed will grow. So what we've done, what Lagos chapter is doing, and what the national body has also put in their plan, is to create more avenues for us to interact with the students, for us to have occasions to talk with them, relate with them, hear from them, encourage them. So yes, that mentorship thing, that whole idea of bridging the gap, because the idea of unity schools has not died. Though some people would like to think that it is dead, it's not dead. The unity schools still represent the unity schools. Yes, times have changed, things have changed, but we can still make it what it used to be. We can even make it better than what it used to be. So I think I'll take up the challenge you've laid tonight. The chess club thing will start it, but let me let you know that we've already started various educational initiatives with the sole purpose of increasing their academic excellence, their academic performance. So, in my tenure, I said it as part of my campaign that I would increase the academic performance of the school. So in the last 1 year, we've been more focused on encouraging academic performances, rewarding them. Now we're talking with the teachers, we're trying to find incentives, we're trying to find creative ways of making learning as fun as it used to be for us. So, but now that we're entering the second year, it would be good, like you said, to start something like the chess, maybe drama, mix it up a little bit. So, because again, people would relax more when you put sports, when you put games into it. So I think I'll borrow a leaf from your suggestion. Thank you for bringing it up. It didn't occur to me before, but it's a good idea.
Chioma, did you hear value? Everything you said had value in it. Mentorship, inspiration, productivity. We made it all there. Thank you, Humphrey. It was great to hear that. Chioma,
I just so that's we talked about giving back from going to chess. I just want to ask Dr. Wasagu if speaking of the USOSA today, and I know that you're an advocate of unity. I know a lot of times you got upset when you see people write stuff on platforms, things that will burn the unity that we're trying to put together. So I just want to ask, way forward, what can we do as USOSANs? What do you see us doing to ensure that this baton this thing that was given to us to bind us as Nigerians, what do we do as USOSANs? You've seen the platforms, you've seen when we come together at AGMs, at plenaries. What else can we do? Because we've been talking, what should we do now?
Yes, we've been talking, we need to keep talking. You see, Unity Schools started in 1963, with Sokoto, Warri, and Okwosi. So for those first generation, give or take, they have 62 years. For the rest of us, I know the second generation, starting in 1973, today you have about 52 years. Now, what Humphrey just said at the beginning of the structure of what you had back then than now, basically has nothing to do with education, but it's a global phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon. Today, if you're living in Lagos or Abuja and your child is up to go for secondary school, you don't even want a school very far from home. If you're living in the cities, not to talk of going into the hinterlands. Not all the schools are in the cities like Kano, Port Harcourt, and the rest of them. Some are in Abuloma, some are in Ogulao, in some remote areas. So not many parents could agree to send their children because of not just the insecurity, the logistics, and everything put together. However, having said that, now coming back to the question on what do we need to do now, it's just to put into perspective that the Unity Schools have not failed. because they produced us. If today that program ends today because of what the society needs and all of that, so be it. But the fact that the unity schools have produced us, and we have graduates of up to classes of 2023, 2024, and anywhere a unity school or student speaks, anywhere in the public, in the market, you could actually pick that person out. 9 times out of 10, you won't be wrong, based on the courage, the decorum, and the wisdom, and so many other qualities. So for those who see the unity of this country as a very, very virile ingredient for the growth of not just our individual growth, the national growth, and the growth of Africa, so to speak, we feel that we are the last line of defense. I usually tell people that only 2 sets of people have been responsible in keeping Nigeria together in the last 30 years. Only 2 sets of people. One is the Nigerian Armed Forces, and 2 are the old students of unity schools. Because no matter what, if you want to fight now, for example, I went to FGC Kano, but I'm not from Kano. I came from a place that, of course, will have a 6 hours drive to Kano, Sokoto. But today, Humphrey has a home in Sokoto because of me. I have a home in Enugu because of Humphrey. This is already enshrined in our gene pool, so to speak. There is no magic you can do to recreate that in unity schools today. So we have that. Now we need to keep the flag flying. We need to do everything. There is no one solution, so to speak, that if you ask somebody, what can we do to keep unity or to improve unity? There is no one solution. There are just so many things that we can do. But the one thing that we can all agree for is the fact that I went to a unity school, and that should count for something. I went to a unity school, and that should count for something. I used to think that Ramadan fasting, I used to think it is a national thing. When I was younger, because when I was in FGC Kano during the Ramadan, I don't see the Christians eating. And we eat when we are going to eat in the evening, we eat together. So I used to think it was everybody. I used to think it was everybody's event. But today, the kids of today, and of course, don't forget the damage that has been done by the same technology we want to use, specifically social media, makes it easy for those purveyors of negativity to reach young minds. As much as you are struggling to send positivity to the minds of younger people, likewise, those who are poised to send negativity to their minds are also lurking, and they are reaching them. So it's actually a tough war, but we just need to identify who we are. Like my past president, Lawrence Wilbert, who we be. We need to always identify who we be. And that pro unitate is who we are, and we need to keep on anything that we need to do. People can come up with so many innovative ideas that are geared towards unity. I also practice a lot of PR, and most of the time, the message you are trying to send, if you are selling a product and you want to make money, you're thinking of how it can reach different people, different tribes, and all of that. But it is always when it comes to some kind of political restructuring, or political alignment. I'm a political scientist, and that is the time that people bring different alienations of where are you from, where are you. But when you want to sell or you want to obtain, you don't care who buys or you don't care who brings. So we need to just carry on with the spirit and creative forums like this, so that we can always speak. Sometimes, because of this passion, Chioma is my witness. Whenever we are anchoring a program, when I was serving in USOSA, the PG tends to tell me to please talk less. because of my passion. When I get the microphone and I see the crowd that is made up of so many young people, I want to just keep on talking, so that they can see the passion and the spirit of what we are saying. Because you can't say it in just 1-2 sentences and expect people to understand. The pioneer president of FGC Kano Old Student Association, someone that graduated in 1978. When he was being sent from Benin, Auchi to be precise, to Kano, then Bendel State. His father happens to be one of the richest men in the then Bendel State, but he sends him all the way to Kano through one method. There was only one method of transport, one mode of transport between Benin and Kano, and that is the wooden lorry that carries Gari to Kano. And it takes about it's about 4 days journey, because when they get to somewhere in Niger State, Jaba, there is a bridge there they call Jaba Bridge. They will park and offload everything that is on the truck, and the truck will cross without the load before they now go on and unload.
Hey.
This is a very wealthy man in Nigeria sending his child on this truck to Kano to go and learn. So if you look at, I don't know if you remember the history of why the idea of unity school, interregional schools, came to Tafawa Balewa. It was because of the disarray in the parliament. An emir sitting with a babariga, and then he's sitting next to probably a tortif or the obong of Calabar, who only happens to have a wrapper and beads on him without a shirt. And the emir now thinks, how could you tell me that I'm equal to this guy in the parliament, So there was that rancor, and Tafawa Balewa felt that this is going to be a problem. The fact that we're just coming together as a nation. In order to solve this, we need to go back to the grassroots and create a learning environment where you send kids of adolescent age to start learning. And that was the idea of Unity School. So you see, that actually solved the problem of Nigeria's togetherness in the beginning. And of course the rest is the rest is history. So when you want to talk about unity, please, maybe we should have another podcast entirely. But the passion, will just make us keep on talking and talking.
We will take you up on that, Chioma.
Yes, absolutely.
Balewa, that's some more history that we did not know before now.
Yeah.
Right. Again, like we said, it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street conversation. So feel free to ask Humphrey or Dr. Wasagu. You can ask Chioma a question about Pro Unitate. You can ask me about TNN, the New Nigerian. Let's see if we can give you answers to your inquisitive questions.
What is the TNN, please?
TNN is basically the New Nigerian with an N at the end. The reason for the creation of TNN was to bridge the gap between diaspora and Nigeria. Using conversations, bringing the best from diaspora, interacting with the best from Nigeria, and trying to create projects. But to be able to do that, you have to accept in trying to become what we called a new Nigerian, someone birthed in unity, praise, and hope for Nigeria as a country. We can only achieve that by mentoring. We can only achieve that by example. We can only achieve that by eradicating the ills of our society in Nigeria. I'm proud to tell you guys, and I keep reiterating, the New Nigerian has actually got people working together. We've got the medical field working with Nigerians, doing things in the medical area. We've got agriculture, we've got education. We've also got a scheme called Feed the Children, where it's been done in silos. We try and do it quietly. We go into a community at Christmas and feed the children in the community. It's all out of pocket at the moment. There's no profit just yet, but the idea of getting the best in diaspora, and getting them to do things in Nigeria is just a fantastic thing. It gives me, as CEO of the New Nigerian, happiness every time I wake up. That's just in a brief nutshell. There's more to it. Maybe on some other occasion, if we get the opportunity, I can expand a bit more.
Okay, I'm happy to hear about the fact that you're collaborating with in other areas, like you said, education, agriculture. However, can I ask, these collaborations, or let's put it this way. So when you say you're collaborating in the educational sector, how is it done? And when you say you're bringing the best from the diaspora, what does that mean? Are you talking about, do we have access to specialists? Do we have access to expertise, people who've lived there or who have gained expertise over there? Are they going to, so how does it work?
100%. Let me give you an example. In Lagos, where you live, there is a doctor who is more or less a pioneer in regenerative medicine, the ability to reverse strokes. He was based in the US for a while. After a series of conversations, he now has a clinic in the, I think on the island, either in Ikoyi or somewhere around the island. Ironically, he's a Unity School product. Yes, he went to Federal Government College Idoani. We have a series of them there's another one, a professor in Canada, who is doing what we call, he tends to go into the rural areas and puts clinics or sick bays in their schools in the rural areas to improve their health conditions. So it's sponsored entirely by him. Most of the people we deal with are definitely professionals in their fields. We've got other people who, how will I explain it now? So we bring doctors together. USOSA has generated so many doctors. At the moment, there's one from KC now who suddenly discovered the use of oxygen in curing or helping sickle cell. He went to King's College. He's a Unity School product. We've got Professor Kenechukwu Ezigbo now. He's based in Virginia. He's a critical care doctor. Go on.
One second.
Yeah. I
have a slightly different view of how diaspora can actually. I'm not saying, just like Wasagu said, there is no one singular solution, but as I said in my inaugural speech, when Bob Marley sang the song and said, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery," because nobody else can save you, only you. And the worst thing you can do is to give a man fish. You teach him how to fish. I don't really. I as a rule, I dislike charity. I dislike it because it's like a carrot that the West uses to hold you in check. I believe that we have enough people in diaspora to come down here and make a change. How do you make a change? You create an enabling environment. You go into industries, because if you don't feed these people, you will continue to cure their illness. You continue to do food clinics. You continue to bring charity. And we don't need charity. We have what it takes. What we need is expertise, financial expertise, industrial expertise, and above everything, the willingness to come home, the willingness to see this place as our home. I have business in the Lekki free trade zone area in Ibeju Lekki. You need to take a visit there. You need to see the industry that are almost like as if they materialize out of the thin air. And these are billions of dollars. And you know the sad part? They're all expatriates. You now be wondering, we have Nigerians jabbing, and then you have people coming here to come and create billions of dollars worth of business, and we're leaving here to go somewhere. There's something missing. And what that thing is capital and the will to develop it. Charity is not going to get us anywhere. Mark my words, charity will not get us anywhere. We need people who are, in fact, we need capitalists who are also patrons. Because if the Chinese can come here, the Indian can come here and do. In fact, I love this thing that Trump just did the other day. He said Americans can go anywhere and do any bribe they like because you need to compete. The Indians come here, the same Nigeria you'd say doesn't work. The Indians come here and pay money, give money, and they're working, moving money like you won't believe. And we are running from our own place? Oh, come on.
What you've just said is the reverse brain drain. We need to get the best to come back home and develop. The new Nigerian is only 5 years old. We're hoping that in another 10, 15 years, we will be getting or achieving exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. It's another word of wisdom. Again, we wouldn't have gotten this out of you guys if we didn't reverse the questioning. Dr. Wasagu, I'm sure you have one to ask. It could be about USOSA. Please feel free.
Okay. Chioma, should I ask about USOSA?
You answer it. When you answer it, then we continue the program.
Actually, I had just one question, and we came from FGC Kano, so we think alike. My question was basically on TNN, and I just understood the entire concept from your explanation when Humphrey asked the question. So I don't have any question, but probably off the podcast and on the workings and the structure of TNN, I believe there are some suggestions on redirection that I could give. Just from the explanation, I have taken quite a few points, and maybe off the podcast, I'll talk with Chioma and maybe some suggestions afterwards. But no question. I would have asked Chioma about USOSA, some things I don't understand in USOSA.
No, please.
And there you go. 1 hour flies by so quickly. When Humphrey just came on, he was wondering what types of conversations we would have. But just a few seconds ago, he was smiling and laughing. I'm happy that you were able to get that off us today. So many more questions to ask. We don't stop. There will be part 2s where we'll invite you back again, talk about what we've done today or said, and see if there's been any improvement. As USOSANs, we always aim to improve in whatever we do. So we want to use this particular time to thank you guys. Thank you, Dr. Wasagu, for driving like James Bond to be with us. Thank you, Humphrey, for taking your time to be with us. I'll let Chioma give the last words, including talk about our handles.
Okay, so one thing I took away from while Humphrey was speaking is about what I learned yesterday. Someone said, learn, earn, and return. That's for every Nigerian out there. Learn, earn, and return. We need to give back to our country. The country is looking up to us to establish it and make it look like what you have over there. So thank you for this conversation. It's been an awesome evening anyways. The 2 brilliant people proudly made it Kano, FGC Kano. So thank you for joining us, and thank you to TNN for this collaboration with USOSA. The one way you can support this program is by sharing, by clicking, visiting TNN YouTube and USOSA YouTube, so that you're just one click away from supporting this very important podcast. And we hope to see you next time, and we hope to bring more brilliant minds if we were, we always say, if we were to bring one USOSA to this program every day, we would not still exhaust the brilliant mind that we have in USOSA. So thank you very much for joining us, and see you.
Thank you.
Bye for
Thank
now.
you.